Hello, and welcome to the Monday show of Adamo Baseball, where I'm your host, Adamo. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the 1905 World Series. And I'm going to be straight with you. There's not a lot of excitement to really talk about in this World Series. So, there are cool things though. Between both teams, there was one batter who hit over 300 total on both teams. And that was, let me make sure I'm saying this right because it's kind of a weird name, Roger Bresnahan. I think I'm saying his name right. Could just be Bresnan. He hit 313 for the series. He hit 5 for 16, he scored 3 runs, and he had 2 runs batted in. For top 10 plays for the series, I think number 7 was ground rule double. There were zero home runs total for the whole series. There were only 5 games. And in those 5 games, the New York Giants won the World Series 4-1 over the Philadelphia Athletics. Yes, those Athletics. They were originally Philadelphia. Many years later, they moved to Kansas City, and then they moved to Oakland, and after that, the Kansas City Royals were founded. And I think the Phillies actually existed at the same time. Like, they actually are that old. But the Athletics were the American League pennant winners, and as opposed to letting their pride get in the way this time, the Giants took the field and proved that they were the better team. And that year they were the better team. Nothing particularly... well, let me start off by saying this. There were 4 Hall of Fame pitchers in this World Series, and at least 2 of them pitched like it. Actually, 3 of them did. Because there were a grand total of 6 pitchers that threw total. Only 1 of them was in relief, and it was for 1 inning. That was Red Ames. He threw 1 inning in relief, did not give up a run. And I don't know that I can say this at any point in the future. Not just today, 2021, and beyond, but even when I'm doing other World Series breakdowns, I don't think we're going to be able to say these words. There were 5 games, all 5 are shutouts. The winning team was the only team that scored in all 5 games. The final scores of those games were Game 1, Giants 3-0. Game 2, Philadelphia Athletics 3-0. That was their only win, and that was Charles Bender, who is in the Hall of Fame. Game 3 was 9-0 Giants. Game 4, 1-0 Giants. And Game 5, 2-0 Giants. This is probably the least dramatic World Series in history. I never knew I would be able to say that about any World Series. This is by far the least dramatic of them all. Christy Mathewson of the New York Giants won 3 games, throwing 3 complete game shutouts. He threw games 1, 3, and 5. They had a 2-man rotation. Joey McGinty was the other New York Giants pitcher who started. He split the series. He gave up the 3 runs in Game 2, and Red Ames came in 1 inning of relief for him then, and he won Game 4. He's also in the Hall of Fame. The Athletics pitchers, they had a 3-man rotation. All 3 men pitched every inning. Yeah. Andy Coakley was the one pitcher who threw 9 innings. Eddie Plank, who's also in the Hall of Fame, and Charles Bender, who's in the Hall of Fame, they both threw 17 innings. Yeah, that happened. Because back then, you did that. Christy Mathewson, later in his career, he won 31 games in a season. Because back then, you could do that. He also started, I want to say it was 1911 or something. He started 56 games. And he threw 34 complete games. He did not win all of them. That's how they did baseball back then. If you were pitching, you were the guy that day. And that's it. There wasn't anything else. And because all 5 games were shutouts, the hitting was absolutely atrocious. You will never hear these, or you're never going to hear these numbers today. The Philadelphia Athletics batting average for the series as a team was 155. Today, if one player is hitting 155, he's getting kicked back to the minors. That was the whole team. This was the team that won the American League. And the Giants pitching made them look like they weren't even there. The New York Giants batting average as a team was almost as bad, but not quite. They only hit 216 for the series. And honestly, about the only thing I really have to mention about this series after that is that Christy Mathewson was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1936. And then in 1946, Joey McGinty, Eddie Plank, and Charles Bender were all elected into the Hall of Fame. Old timers. They were apparently in 1946 they just had an old timers Hall of Fame where they felt people should just get in. So they sent them in. But if you look at their numbers, you look at it and say, yeah, those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. I understand numbers back then are a lot different than they are today. But at the same time, how do you argue against a guy with 373 career wins? That's what Christy Mathewson had. And I think it was Eddie Plank. It was either him or Charles Bender. I can't remember which one. But one of the two had over 300 wins for his career. Today, you can't do that. I mean, they run pitch counts today. If you hit 100 pitches, it's usually because you got a no-hitter going. That's the only reason why Joe Musgrove was allowed to pitch past 100 innings. He said game 3, he was just worn out. So, yeah, there really isn't much else to say about this World Series because it really was just one team shutting down the other one. And offense was at a premium. The Giants just happened to have enough of it. If there's something you felt like I missed or that I should have talked about more with this World Series, let me know. I don't care if it's good, bad, whatever. Just let me know. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can do so on Twitter, Adamo Baseball Podcast, or at Adamo Baseball 1. You can at me. I'm not ashamed. And if you're listening on my podcast, you can do so on Twitter, at Adamo Baseball 1, or just Adamo Baseball. Or you can come on over to my YouTube channel, leave a comment down below. With that being said, thank you for listening. Cheers until next time.